Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how I take an old rusty cast iron skillet and turn it into something that you can actually cook on. And it's not going to take a very long time, just a little bit of elbow grease and a hot oven. So let's bring you in close to see what the damage is, and then we'll get to cleaning it up. Here we have 3 pans that they're recently given to me by my dad. And as you can see, they're a little rusty. This is a Wagner 6.5 inch skillet. This is a Wagner 8-inch skillet, and there's rust both on the outside and on the inside. And this is just a no-name, look like never used, because it still has the cardboard on it. So we'll see if we can clean this one up too, but I'm not too concerned about this. Like I said, both of these are Wagners, and Wagner, they no longer make these. Here it says Wagner's 1891 original. These are more heirloom cast iron skillets, so they get passed down from generation to generation. You can often find these in flea markets and things like that, but I'm not 100% sure how he came in contact with these, but he got them, so let's try to clean them up and see if we can cook something on it. We'll start with this little one here. The first thing I like to do is just get a Scotch-Brite pad or something, even steel wool, things like that, so we can knock off this rust on the inside. Just a couple of scrapes, you can see it's already coming up. So what I'll do is I'll scrub this, I'll wipe it out, and I'll scrub it until I can't see any visible rust, both on the outside and on the inside of the pan. As you can see, that's looking better. Looking a lot better already. This doesn't have any pitting, so the rust has not gone down into the cast iron terribly bad. I don't see any pitting from rust or anything. So let's see if we can get the second one cleaned up. There we go, that one's better. Try one more thing on this before we call it good. I'm going to use a wire brush to see if I can get down inside these grooves of the letters. Oh, that's a lot better. You can actually read what it says for the most part. So here it says, seasoning instructions: scour thoroughly, coat with cooking oil, heat to 300 degrees oven, and it says 1 hour, remove excess oil, ready for use, season as necessary. So those are the exact steps we're going to follow to re-season this and this one. This one's a little tougher to read, but it does have the same instructions on there. I also happen to have some steel wool here. Let's see if that does anything. Now that our hands are orange and we got the rust off of these, let's take them inside and wash them really well, and then we'll get ready to season them. Now that we got these pans de-rusted, we're going to add water and wash them off with soap and everything. And right now I currently have the oven preheating to 450 because I'm going to be seasoning these with peanut oil because that's what I have on hand. And the smoke point for peanut oil is 448 degrees. So just a little bit above that will be fine. So we'll go ahead and wash these off. Make sure we get all the rust and things out of there. Okay, now they're nice and clean. If you want a pro tip, do not use your wife's good dish drying towels because she might not appreciate that. Also, if you can do this when there's no one else in the house, that'd be great, because this stuff, when it does bake into the pan, which is what we're doing, we're adding a layer of oil. Actually, we're adding several layers of oil to this. so that creates the non-stick surface. That's the major selling point of cast iron. There's actually a lot of benefits to cast iron, but that's one of them. So, as I was saying, don't do this when there's a bunch of people in the house because it will make your house smell. Right now, my wife and kids are not home, so it's probably the best time to do this. The next step is to add a little bit of oil. I'm using just regular peanut oil. Like I said, you can use whatever you want, but just know what the smoke point is. And just use a little bit in each pan. Get a paper towel and rub that everywhere. When doing this, you want to coat the whole pan. Doing this, you want to also coat the back. I'm trying to be careful here. There we go. There's one. Just a thin layer of oil around the whole pan. Alrighty. Next, we're ready for the oven. Because I'm an impatient person and can't wait for anything, we're at 325. That's good enough for me. We're going to put these pans in face down so that it doesn't pool in here and create a thicker layer of oil in some spots and not the others. We want it to be as even as possible. So we're going to put these in here. 1, 2, and we'll start our timer for an hour and 15 minutes. And now we wait. Okay, so we're almost done. Now that's been about a little over an hour. Go ahead and take these out. There we go. Now keep your oven on. Now that we have them out of the oven, they have to cool down a little bit. You're supposed to be able to touch them, but I don't, again, impatience. I don't wait for that completely. I let them cool down a little bit and then do that step at least 2 more times. So we'll season it again, bake it for another hour, pull it out, let it cool, and then season it or put oil in it a 3rd time, bake it, pull it out and let it cool. And then by then you should be fine to cook on it. And then from then on out, you just add a little bit of oil after you're done cooking and rinse it off with water, add oil after you're, ridiculous. And then it's just maintenance after that. After you are done cooking, scrape off all the hard stuff, wipe it out really well with just water, and then before you put it away, add another very thin layer of oil, and then you should be good to go. So they have cooled down some, just a little bit. The handles are still hot because that cast iron is a little more, actually that might be enough for both. That cast iron is a little thicker, so I'm still going to use an oven mitt when messing with these just because I don't want to get burnt. And add a nice, not too thick, not too thin layer of oil to all surfaces. 1, just a little bit more in this pan. You don't want to get the oil too thick because then it takes a lot longer for it to harden onto the pan. Now you might have to do this a couple more times than just 3, but these pans were not in too bad of a shape. A handkerchief works pretty well too when doing this. All right, back in the oven for another hour. All right, it's been another hour. We're going to get these out and let them cool. They look really good. All right, that was the final alarm. Let's go ahead and pull these out and let them cool. These have that amber glaze to them, which is what you want right after seasoning them.